Friday is about getting businesses and classes connected. Workplaces are real, and classrooms, universities, colleges, high schools are really catalytic areas because we have a density of people. When we have those conversations with kids in high school or in our workplaces, those people can take that message home to their homes, to their streets, to their communities. So we really want to encourage businesses and schools to get involved, to talk about it, and then encourage your employees or your students to go home and get connected in your family, on your street, wherever that might be, because, you know, we are in this together. And right now we need each other more than ever before.
I love it. It's I'll make sure to I'm going to be in a mixture of Croatia and Amsterdam this GenWell weekend. I'm on a long postponed Europe trip from my graduation of university that got pushed literally 3 years. So my roommate and I are heading out gallivanting around with our backpacks for a little while. But before I leave, in honor of GenWell, I'll make sure to maybe bake some banana bread or some cookies and go knock on the doors of the neighbors around me and just take some time to actually introduce myself.
And Kyle, thank you for doing that and for being part of the movement. But let me also throw this out to you. You know, we're not anti-technology at GenWell, and we talked a little bit about digital technology earlier, but we are about educating people about the things in technology that help us build healthy connections and those that don't. And so even when you're over in Croatia on GenWell weekend, I encourage you to send a couple notes out to your friends and say, hey, it's GenWell weekend. I'm thinking about you. I can't be with you right now, but I just wanted you to know you're a part of my life. You mean whatever the message is.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we all can't be face-to-face all the time. And really, technology can be a great supplement to the face-to-face connections that keep us happy and healthy. So I share that not specifically to you, but also to everybody to say, hey, connection happens in many forms and formats throughout the course of our days and lives.
Mm-hmm.
And if we use it properly, unfortunately, the social platforms, as you mentioned earlier, started out saying they were about connecting people in community. And what we now know is they're all about stealing our time and attention away from actually doing what they originally proposed to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, becoming more conscious and aware of what those platforms are stealing from our lives and the impact that it's having, that's how we start to educate people on, hey, maybe there's a better alternative, and it's called, you know, getting connected with other people face to face.
I love it. Pete, that's I can't thank you enough for shining a light on this, because I think that it's one of those things where to be, you've got the shirt on, Human Connection Catalyst, to take on that responsibility. It's a great shirt, by the way. To take on that responsibility is a truly beautiful thing, and I can tell that you care about people and you want to see people be the socially healthiest versions of themselves. And so anything that I can ever do to help spread the word of everything that you're doing, I'm more than happy to do so. I also wanted to start to transition to the second part of our chat, and I'm curious, like, Pete, like, when would you say it's funny, I work with entrepreneurs throughout the day at my day job, and it's funny when you talk to somebody who they're like, oh, I'm building a swimming, like a environment tech company, and you say, well, where's the most beautiful place you've ever been? And they start to think about, okay, well, I went to this rainforest one time and it was amazing, and it just it brings something else in me that's just amazing. And so talking to you, I'm curious, like, when do you feel the most connected?
Do you know what? I got to tell you that last, I think it was Friday night, we happened to be up north for the next 2 weeks. And I had a campfire with a good friend. And I will say we had a couple drinks, and we probably sat there for 3 hours around a campfire on a somewhat chilly night. And we just talked. And, I talked about what I was interested in. He talked about what he was interested in. I certainly was curious about what he was interested in. He was curious about what I was interested in. And I actually walked into my wife and I got into bed and I said, I just had an amazing night. And so, whether it's I went to a Blue Jay game last week with another buddy and we chatted for three, like I don't even honestly, now we did leave in the eighth inning, but I have no idea what happened in that game.
Mm,
And that's because I spent more time connecting with him than actually playing the game. So when do I feel my most connected, Kyle? It's when I'm with people who I could be myself, my authentic self,
mm,
and I can have, those deep, meaningful conversations about things that I care about and that they
yeah.
care about, and that we both feel a sense of connection and belonging and understanding by the end of them. And that's probably my answer to that question.
That's beautiful. I mean, authenticity, being able to be yourself around somebody, it's a feeling that I feel like so many people look for. So it's, I completely, I completely agree. I find that, it's, I think that there's an element too here of, developing a relationship with yourself, I think is, connecting with yourself, where so often, you talk with people, and that idea of connection being a time where you're just waiting for you're waiting for to respond, when somebody's telling you something about them, you're just trying to think of, not how can we go deeper or what am I genuinely curious about. It's just like, what can I do to check this box of that says conversation, and you just check the box of, how's it going, good, weather, oh it's been nice, how's things with the family, oh they've been good, good. And then you're sitting there where it's like, wow, that could have been 3 hours of conversation in those three topics, but you boiled it down to, to 10 seconds. But I think that part of that and is being comfortable in yourself and sitting in it and saying like, I do want to learn more because I am genuinely curious about you. I feel complete as a person, and I know you feel complete as a person. So let's come together. Let's do the proverbial, dance of exchanging information and telling stories and doing these things that we've done for thousands and thousands of years. But I do feel like there's definitely that element of connecting with yourself that often goes over miss when looking at external connection.
Yeah, and I think I think it's more challenging than ever before, not because those opportunities aren't out there if you seek them, but I think, I thought the pandemic would actually awaken us all to,
Hmm.
what was important in life, finding time to connect with other people, having those people in your lives that support you through the ups and downs. But I personally feel on the other side of the pandemic that things are faster than they were before the global pandemic, and
Mm,
I'm pulled in more directions. And so it's become an even greater challenge to be conscious,
yeah.
then to make the time, and then to make it happen.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, if somebody you reach out to always all the time, this is what happened. We had the busy world, it was cool to be busy for the last 10,
Right.
20 years. So, hey,
Still
Kyle,
is,
you want to
yeah.
get together? Hey, man, sorry, I'm busy. I
Yeah.
can't, maybe I can see you 8 Sundays from now, and we get to a week
Right.
before and you go, oh, sorry, man, I booked that up as well.
Yeah.
And so, when we understand the power of human connection, when we recognize that this is, I truly believe, is the most fundamental aspect of life beyond water and food,
Hmm.
that when you recognize how important this is why helping people understand it and reprioritize it in their calendars becomes so critically important, because we've seen, mental health issues have only grown over the last, I guess 2, 3 decades,
Yeah.
more so in the last decade and a bit since we've been more conscious about it. Physical health, we still have an obesity issue, we still have illnesses, we still have everything going through the roof. The healthcare system is bursting at the seams.
Yeah.
So the solution to me is if we can actually help people, do the things that keep them happy and healthy, then that's probably a good decision. And I'm sure, Kyle, you're familiar with Dr. Laurie Santos from Yale University. If not, you need to find out about this lady. She
Yeah.
has a course on Coursera called The Science of Well-Being, and that course is free of charge. And in that course, it helps explain what makes us happy and what doesn't make us happy. And if you
Mm,
look at the list is basically everything we've been told by society and the media makes us less happy.
yeah.
And everything that is kind of, what we're talking about today, from empathy and compassion and relationships and giving and caring and, all those things are actually what make us happy. I think that's mandatory content for every human being on the planet,
Hmm.
because until we actually recognize what does make us happier and healthier, I think we'll continue to make the mistakes and do the things that society or the media makes us believe makes us happier and healthier.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, yeah, Dr. Laurie Santos. I was like, I was scratching my brain. I was like, the name sounds so familiar. I'm not sure where from, but the happiness. I love the Happiness Lab, and I've heard her on Pushkin's channels. It
She's
does an
amazing.
amazing podcast on happiness,
Yeah.
which is really cool. Also, I can just imagine that'd probably be a pretty cool profession of studying happiness. That I can think of worse things to do with your time than figure out the secrets to the great joy of happiness.
Yeah, 100%. Dr. Laurie Santos, there's Dr. Robert Waldinger down in
Yeah.
at Harvard, all these people, Julianne Holt-Lundstad, who's out of Brigham Young University. She's been studying loneliness and the negative
Mhm.
implications. But the world is coming together. There's a great conference in Boston in October. In Toronto, we've got the Canadian Human Connection Conference, and all of them are really about trying to focus. We are still at the 1 yard line,
Of
but
course.
focusing, what work is going on, what's the research continuing to show us from shrinking brains when we're lonely, impact on seniors,
Yeah.
studies that show that over 50% of CEOs and entrepreneurs are lonely on a regular basis. So we need to recognize it's all of us,
Yes.
and that we are in this together, and hopefully these conferences can help spread the message and bring the bright minds together that can build a plan. Like the US has just launched their social connection framework for all Americans,
Nice.
and they've put $10 billion over the next 10 years behind mental health, and with a specific focus on social connection. So hopefully Canada is not too far behind,
Mhm.
and hopefully the GenWell project can be the catalyst that starts making this part of our daily interactions.
I love it. I certainly wouldn't be surprised. It sounds like obviously there's some great people behind the GenWell project. So anytime you put good people with good intentions, and get them some good attention, it's a great thing for sure. Pete, I can't thank you enough for taking the time and being here. I wanted to just give you an opportunity quickly to plug anything that you'd like to for any of the listeners, anybody that or anything that you think that they should be doing, anything that you want them to check out, any way that they can support the amazing work that you're doing at GenWell. The floor is yours.
Kyle, thank you so much. And thank you again for the opportunity to have the conversation and to share our message and mission with your community. At the end of the day, I want everybody to head over to genwellproject.org and find out more about the work that we've been doing for 7 years now to educate, empower, and catalyze Canadians around the importance of face-to-face social connection. Follow us on our social channels for daily tips, tools, ideas, research, and motivation on how we can all start building healthier connection habits starting today. And join us by getting connected on the next GenWell weekend, this September 22nd to 24. But whether it's this GenWell weekend or the next one, which will be in the spring, and we keep coming back every year, because at the end of the day, things can happen every few months that can get us off of kilter. And we want to just be there to help you get reconnected with the people that keep you happy and healthy. So there's just a starting point, but we have lots of different ways in which people can participate, get active and social, and of course, more than anything, share this message with the people that you love and care about. Have conversations about the importance of social connection and social health, because, as I like to always say, because together we can make the world a happier and healthier place, one face-to-face conversation at a time.
That seems like a beautiful place to leave it, Pete. I appreciate you so much, and I look forward to having you back again on Life's Rec.
Thanks. I really appreciate the time, Kyle, and I really appreciate the meaningful questions and conversation that I hope go a long way to helping your audience feel more in tune with their social connections and health, and how important it is for their health and well-being.